Hey yo, it's time to roar, get loud, let's ignite. Jeremy B in the house, we keeping it tight. Every weekday at 11, we ready to ride. Lions Talk Live, come and join the pride. Waking up early, it's that morning grind. Tune in to the show, leave the troubles behind. Jeremy B's the king, with the voice like thunder. Every word he spits, it's a lyrical wonder. Got the lions around, sharp and fierce. When we hear one pride, you can't help but feel your heart pierce. Talking all the topics, keep it real, keep it raw. With a lion's mentality, we're ready for the roar. One pride, it feels right. Jeremy B bringing the heat, morning light. Every weekday at 11, we taking flight. Lions Talk Alive, yeah, we ready to bite. One pride, hear us loud. Jeremy's in the zone, making us proud.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good afternoon. It is Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. How's everybody doing today? The QR link up in the left-hand corner of your screen, that is for my Uncle Dad's obituary. Today is his funeral. I wanted to make sure I posted that. There's a thing in there about donations. If you want to make donations to the family, either plant a tree, send flowers, whatever. It's at 3 p.m. this afternoon. So that's where we're at. But we did hear that the Browns hired a head coach. They hired Todd Monkin, the former OC of the Baltimore Ravens, who is now the former OC of the Giants before he ever took a snap there. Do I think the Browns hired the right coach? No, I think they should have promoted Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz deserves another head coaching shot, in my opinion. So I think it's a mistake. What up, though, RBF Fred? Good to see you, brothers. And Nick, I'm quite sure MDE will be here any minute now. There he is. Speak of the devil. That I don't know. I think they should. He's had a very good defense the last 2 years with the Browns. I think Schwartz should be able to stay on as DC if he wants to be there. He may feel slighted because he didn't get a head coaching opportunity. Wouldn't that be the ultimate kick in the teeth if Jim Schwartz ends up the head coach of the Raiders? He deserves a head coaching shot. I think he got a raw deal here in Detroit. We let him go too soon. That's just me. We also heard Brian Daboll is the offensive coordinator of the Titans, and I think that's going to help out Robert Saleh a bunch. And Aaron Glenn announces he's going to take over the defensive play calling this year. Yet, at the same time, he hires former Lions safety coach that was the passing game coordinator on defense in Miami last year, in Brian Duker. Yeah, he does. He's a no-nonsense, fiery, kind of like John Gruden that way. So there's a lot of movement going on. And I think a lot of it's in reaction to Mike Kafka signing here. Say what you want. Mike Kafka's a good coach. He was a great QB coach. I think he's going to be our passing game coordinator. Tanner Engstrom was fired as the OC of the Jets. It was. I think he's a perfect fit as our passing game coordinator. Like I said, I wanted him originally as our OC, but I understand why they went with Drew Petzing when I looked into his history, so I will take it. And I was wrong, but we did end up hiring him. So was I wrong in saying I'd like Kapka on our roster of coaches? No. So, by the way, Brian Duker. Oh God, I love you, brother. I do. Your comments crack me up. I love it. You have my type of sense of humor, and it makes it fit right. We got to do a show together sometime because it would be hilarious. I just think it would work out great. Tonight, I will be home in time to do my show. Uh, the funeral's running from 3 to 8, so I'm hoping that I might have to take my. I don't think I. He hasn't. My agent will contact your agent, SJB. Amen, brother. I hear you there. So that being said, what do you guys think of all these coaching moves, this carousel that's going on? Because it is kind of an ask the host day. We don't have a lot going on, so I would love to hear your thoughts and whatever your questions. They let me put the banner up. I got to think Steelers are going to make a huge run at Malik Willis as for the coaching. It is interesting for sure. I can't believe McDermott is not talked about with Vegas. I think McDermott is going to play the Tomlin role. And he's just going to back off. He's already turned down a offensive coordinator position. So I think he either wants to be a head coach or nothing. And I can't blame him. Watch Browns do it and hire Matt Patricia as DC. He almost became the DC of Dallas. I love the hire that Dallas did. I think they were smart to take that guy away. The Philly defense played well. It was the offense that failed them. I feel you, brother. I know. We talked about this many times. I read the same thing. That's why I said it. Ooh, coffee time. I use mechanical pencils instead. There'll still be a number two. but there'll be a mechanical pencil because there's no way I can use a yellow pencil ever again. Hey, I think they did good getting Josh Gannon. Credit to them. They still got to work on everything else now. So let's get into it. We've looked at the free agent list, and I know that there's a lot of people we want, but I actually feel like they're not going to come here because they're going to get re-signed. Will he be as good as Halfley was for him? That remains to be seen. But Gannon was a good DC. I give credit where credit's due. He's a better DC accidentally than Matt Patricia ever was. Are they going to keep the guy with the? Thank you, Michael Everett. I'm just watching my messages to make sure I don't get anything from family right now because right now that's what's important. I kept up with the news all morning. Yep, here it is. Rumor in the NFL. It just broke at 12:11 a.m. Drama in Cleveland. Browns DC Jim Schwartz is upset being passed over for head coach and told coaches he doesn't plan on staying in Cleveland. There it is. Breaking news right here while we're live. It just came across from NFL per Mike Garoppolo. It's funny. I say something and it happens. I don't know how many times on this show it'll happen live, especially at this time frame, because a lot of news breaks at this time frame. And yet, no, you can't blame Schwartz. Not at all. He probably learned a lot after being here. Yeah, Nostra dumbass. That's me. I love that nickname. I think it's funny. I think it's witty. It's good. So, what are your questions? What do the Patriots do? I thought he was too because everybody kept turning him down. In the first interview they got was Todd Monkin, and they hired him on the spot. And I think that was a slap in the face to Jim Schwartz. That's just me. You scare me. Can you predict if I will grow hair, hit the lotto, and Jennifer Aniston rescinds her restraining order on me? I don't think I can help with the last one, but growing hair, they make products for that. And once either one of us gets rich, you'll have hair, brother. How's that? That I can promise you. Because if I get rich first, I'll give it to you. The money to go get it. Yeah, yeah, products that didn't help Matt Millen's parents from producing that sludge. Hey, he's the poster child for what happens when the condom breaks. That's my joke. If none of those top 4 offensive tackles that translate as tackles are available at 17, I would consider it, but I actually would consider a trade back. That's just me. I would consider a trade back. I don't think they'll get Bill Belichick. What's the good news? Bill Belichick was held out, and it was reported specifically because of Spygate and Deflategate that in his role with those items, and he will be a Hall of Fame coach. He should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, yes, but I understand it. And anybody that doesn't, we have to go back to a guy that had a Hall of Fame career here in Detroit and didn't get in right away until he passed away in Alex Karras. Everybody forgets about that one. He got in posthumously 2 years after being dead, and I that was out of respect for what he did on the field. Brady might not get in for the same reason. That's the crazy thing. Nobody's even talking about that. If they did it to Belichick, who has six of those, 2 of them associated with the cheating. I mean, the report said that's literally why, and it wasn't just Bill Polian, who I also had some shady dealings back in the day. Let's not get it twisted. He's the last one that should have spoke out, but he said he wasn't the one that voted no. You got to remember, there are 32 beat writers that vote on this, former GMs and former players. So it's not just 1 or 2 guys that said no, because in order to get in, you got to have what is it, 80% of the vote or 75? So that voting in board is probably about 50, 60 people at least. I'm tired of seeing our Lions guys that need to be in that get passed over all the time. Yeah, so I was right. They got to have 80% to get in. He got 40 votes. He needed 50. So take that number of 50, divide it by 80, and that's how many votes he missed by. So he probably didn't miss by much. But how much do you want to bet that one of the ones he missed on was the Giants? Joe Namath got in because he predicted they'd win the Super Bowl, and they did, and that's the only reason he got in. Go look at his regular season numbers. They were awful. But there's guys that got in for regular season success did not. He is not, but he is the Lions leader in tackles to this day still. And I think Jack Campbell has a chance to pass him this year. And that's crazy with how little Jack Campbell's been here that he's doing that well. But Chris Spielman is another one that I think his career was just slightly too short. Actually, Jim Bob Cooter was very good when he was with Detroit. If you look at the 2 years, Matt Patricia, it was said he held him back. He said your offensive play calling is too exciting. You need to be more vanilla. And that's why he changed so bad from one year to the next. The year before when he was our OC, you remember how good it was? We just didn't have a defense. And that was with Caldwell. That offense was electric. We also had 8 of our comeback wins with Jim Bob Cooter. Because remember, Jim Caldwell called the plays. He was more like a coordinator with a clipboard that just suggested what plays should be called. It ultimately was Jim Caldwell's decision to call all those. I hated Jim Caldwell. I'm sorry, I did. He was the safe hire. We should have re-signed Schwartz. I think we'd have had more success. And the defensive players we lost, and yeah, yeah, he was a big reason why Jim Schwartz didn't win. I think we will be. Fix the O line, and that fixes the offense. We really got to focus on that a lot. That's just me, because if his career would have been longer, he would have. But he was a part of one of the best wide receiving duos with a garbage quarterback we ever had. If they don't fix their QB situation, they will. Quasi hates Jim McCarthy. Basically, is what I got out of that presser the other day, in their end of season presser. I can't say I blame him. Do you blame him? You know who has to be sick right now is Vikings fans. Sterling Sharp has that one thing that Herman doesn't have. I said hey, you want to know what's funny, Go Pack Go? Is we all, as fans, got it right and wrong at the same time. We discredited how good the Chicago Bears would be. All of us did. Podcasters, even some Bears fans. I think he was a scapegoat for that game. I don't think they will be, because I think they benefited. I think they benefited from that fourth place schedule. They say they didn't, but they beat 3 bad teams by less than 1 score. So I know we talked about it, RBF. I couldn't believe they traded up to 10 for him. I can't believe how much the media was making JJ sound like the next coming of Tom Brady. Yep, they're about to lose a lot of players. They don't have a lot of cap room. Right now, the team that will have the most amount of cap room without any restructures right now is the Lions. The Bears are in second. The Packers are in a little bit of cap out, and then the Vikings are in the most cap out. They have to do the most to clear cap to be able to do anything this offseason. It's going to be a crazy offseason. That's all I got to say. Oh, if they don't fix it, yeah, I have the feeling he may ask for a trade before the deadline because most teams lost to the Bears and the Bears beat mistakes with the Bears. I get it, but at the same time, the Lions should be better at least by 1 win automatically because we're playing 3 bottom teams. And I'm not saying those teams won't improve and be better. I am just letting you know I think we're winning those 3 games automatically. And yes, everybody above them is going to get tougher too. But at the same time, we're going to get better. Yeah, you guys got to get a new defensive backs coach too, correct? Didn't your defensive back coach go somewhere? Uh, we knew Diggs wouldn't stay there long. Stephon Diggs is Eli Apple with better on ball skills. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. I know it's one of the reasons why he won the Remington over Pat Coogan. Uh, everybody talks about Pat Coogan because he's on the national championship team, but they're forgetting Logan Jones doesn't get called for holding penalties. He barely got called for any false starts. It's a false start on a center, which is one of the hardest ones to call. 9 times out of 10 is because they move the ball. 100% we are. We are one of the hardest ones. They really don't have a lot of people coming up under contract dispute coming up. A couple people on defense, and I think they'll bring them back. No, that's true. He did not give up a sack all season, is what I read. And that's why I put it into my scouting profile I did. The Eagles might. I don't know what's going on there. Offensively, they can't get anything done. I don't know what's going on, why they can't get anybody. The league is always changing. The NFC East normally has the biggest amount of parity of any division there. They hardly ever have back-to-back division winners. They did this year, but that was just because the rest of the teams had either injury problems, coaching problems, or all of the above. Eagles fired Kevin Patullo. Yes, they did. They also lost their defensive game passing coordinator to become the DC of the Cowboys. So they got a lot going on over there. They got a lot of changes going on. Uh, let's get into this because Daniel Jones was signed to a 3-year contract with the Colts, so he has 2 years left. Because no one wants to coach with be with Nick Sirianni. I think he's the issue. It is what it is. You're either great or you're awful, and there is no in between anymore. So that's what's going on there. Right? But it is that time. I'm going to do a quick mock draft for us because guess what? That's what I do. This is mock number 40 since the Rams game, people, that I've done live. Here we go. I will get to your comments as quick as possible. We're going to get this going and just roll. Oh, Francis Mauagawa went just before us, so let's see what the trades are here. I don't want to go that far back. 26 and 60 plus a second, but we lose the 4th round pick, and we don't have a 3rd round pick already. This gives us a first and a second. We lose next year's. No, I'm just going to stay right here and take Caleb Lomu where he belongs. Here's where we may make some movement. 2 trade offers. Not doing that. And I'm not doing that either. They can kick rock. Guess we're staying right here. And since we don't have a pick until then, Logan Jones is the 68th best. I'm taking him at 50. Guess we're not doing trades this time because there's no trades worth doing. So here we go. Let's go back to defense. Let's go edge. Nope, none of those guys are there. Go back to all. Aiden Fisher. I'm taking him. Guy who made plays. Imagine him next to Jack Campbell. I don't think he'll be there if we let him go. And I like this kid. Look at his size. 6'3", 275 out of Texas Tech. I think he'd be a good fit. I think this guy's a tiny boy. Yeah, I'm not doing anybody under the height of 6'1". I don't like Notre Dame players anyways. Here we are. 6'2", 180. But I can get him later. 6 foot, 195. I think we're going to take a safety. Now here's where we can have some fun. Daniels. Let's go offense. Tight end. Riley Nowakowski. That way we get our tight end / fullback, and I'm going to round it off by taking Jack Strand. Look at that. No trades. Used all 8 picks. I think it turned out okay. I'm going to screenshot it like I always do, and I'll post it in. Got another sleeper notification. Let's see if it's anything new or if it's just redoing. Nope, same notification, nothing new. Let's go here. Stop sharing. Pat, I'm doing great. Other than the fact I've been dealing with my family and everything like that. It's been a rough year already, and it just started. wrong button. I do that a lot. Don't mind me. There. I forgot. I had set it up so I have to actually save it. Uh, and also, I just saw where he's asking for an 8th year of eligibility to go back to Miami, Messidor. Uh, it depends on who's there in free agency. I don't think Linderbaum will be there because we don't have that kind of we don't have that kind of money available unless we do a ton of movement. But yeah, I agree. We probably need a vet center, or you keep Glasgow as a backup if he doesn't retire. Let's just be honest. We can't really afford to just cut him. We need him to retire. Uh, there's been signs that some of these games are rigged. Go Pack Go, but at the same time, there's signs that calls go both ways. It depends on who's at home. So I don't want to sit here and be that guy that poo-poos on the scripted stuff. It's just like people that saying that meme that they put out back in September because it had May and Darnold at the front, that it was a premonition of the Super Bowl. They were closest to the poster for the Super Bowl, not the Lombardi. The two closest to the Lombardi was Giants wide receiver Malik Neighbors and quarterback for the Bucks Baker Mayfield. Don't forget, they had two teams up there. They had Cam Ward up there. They had Jaden Daniels still up there. They had teams that were in the playoffs at the very back. So to say that this was rigged, I mean, look at the photo. Yes, over here, there's there's Mayfield, there's May, but look who's closest to the Lombardi. You got Travis Hunter of the Jags, you got Baker Mayfield, Malik Neighbors, and I'm trying to think of who that quarterback is. Yeah, TJ Watt way back here, they made the playoffs. You got Dak Prescott in front of him. There was no chance they were making the players. Let me blow it up one more time. Max Crosby's in the back, up ahead. See, there's Ward. The two players closest to the trophy are Malik Neighbors and Drake May. Darnold's way over there to the left. And Baker Mayfield is closer than actually May is to the trophy. May is just so tall, he stands above Jonathan Taylor and all those guys behind him. Marvin Harrison Jr., they had them making the playoffs. There's Bryce Young. There's Bijan Robinson there. Right here. I mean, that's CJ Stroud up there. Cameron Jordan. There's Jordan Love. Myles Garrett. Here's Puka Nacua way back here. Lamar Jackson way back here. Mahomes way back here. Those are right. But what? He didn't belong back here. Goff way back here was right. They had Purdy and Barkley at the very back. The Darnold is not closest. No, they're not. Darnold is over here. The closest, there's the trophy. The trophy's in the center. Darnold's off to the side. Look at it. He's not closer. These four right here are the closest. Travis Hunter, Baker Mayfield, Malik Neighbors, and Drake May. Defensive line was better than everybody thinks. We had 30 of our 40 plus sacks, and we were fourth in the league in sacks. If you squint hard enough, you can see 666 in the painting by Da Vinci. People will see what they want to see and spin it to fit their own narrative. I just blew it up so I could see it as good as I could on the computer because this came from a phone, so the resolution's off. But at the same time, I disagree. I don't think they were the closest in the photo. It looks like Mayfield, and Travis Hunter were the closest to the Lombardi to me. So that photo was a drawing, a rendering done by an artist, whether AI or not, back in September. So I don't think it's scripted. Well, let's get back to this draft we did. So we got Caleb Lomu at the 17th pick, left tackle out of Utah. Logan Jones, offensive center out of Iowa. Aiden Fisher, middle linebacker out of Indiana. Jamon Tapp out of Southern Miss. 6'3", 275 defensive end that translates well to either a 3 or 4-3 3-4 or 4-3 defense, which we are a hybrid. We did run a 3-man front a few times, so it does work. Michael Taft, a 6 foot, 200-pound safety out of Texas. Kendall Daniels, linebacker out of Oklahoma. Tight end / fullback Riley Nowakowski out of Indiana. He was the one that rushed in the touchdown, the go-ahead touchdown there in that game. So I like him. I think he'd be a good fit. Plus, we don't know if Brock Wright's ever coming back. We'd have to re-sign Zylstra just to have 3. And Jack Strand, the 6'5", 240-pound quarterback out of MSU Moorhead. There's your 2 small skills, Southern Miss and that. Because we do take kids out of small schools late in the draft. That's a staple. Yes, I'm going to try to be here for that 9:30 show. I might be setting it up late unless if Kenning is watching, if you want to set it up for me on there for 9:30, that way all I got to do is come in and run it, put in some topics for us, and I'd be happy. But thank you, everybody, for watching. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. It's the only way to make the world a better place. It does start right here. Much love to everybody in the chat. May you all have a wonderful day. And I am.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.